Hello world. It's your boy Trey Retro underscore GT back for another episode of G.Taylor Show. It's your favorite neighborhood social worker and local neighborhood social worker and licensed clinical social worker Trey Retro underscore GT again back for another episode of the G.Taylor Show. Hope that your week has been well. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Let me know what you think about the episodes. Like I said, we did a little shift in what we're doing now, so make sure y'all still subscribing, listening. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all your digital streaming platforms. We're everywhere. And if we're not on those space, please let me know. I'm gonna do my best to get myself on there. Also, make sure to check us out on YouTube as well. We're on Refresh Virginia on YouTube, where we're doing video interviews strictly on YouTube, and then any other things that I'm doing is gonna be on YouTube as well. So I'm trying to cross all platforms, hitting everything, man. So just trying to do what I can. So let me know what y'all think. Share, subscribe to the podcast. Let me know drop any comments, things like that, and hope that everything is well. Now, got my guest on this week. Reached out via Twitter. Now I told y'all how I feel about my folks on Twitter, man. I get the linking up with people on Twitter, and then I be just reaching out, and I like the vibe. I've reached out. You know what I'm saying? So this guy, I follow him on Twitter for a little bit. He's a big into the sneakerhead, sneakers as well. He's big into sports. And so I said, you know what, this is gonna be a good episode to pivot and do some transition and work, kind of move from mental health a little bit in social work and talk about some stuff that I love, which is sneakers, cars, sports, things like that. His name is Darryl Glover. He goes by Brother D on Twitter and Instagram. Shout out to him. Darryl, what's going on, brother? How you feel, man?
Bro, I'm feeling good, man. Happy to be a part of this. Happy to be joining you and finally get on your podcast, speak to
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
chop it up about sneakers and sports, man.
Yeah, man, I'm happy that you reached out. Yeah, I reached out to you, but happy that you obliged to come on, and I'm glad to have you on, man. I'm interested to talk with you because, like I said, like I said, both Lakers fans. Even though, look, I'm adopted from LeBron, so I'm sorry, but
Yeah, yeah.
sneakerheads, things like that. So I'm ready to get in and definitely chop it up and get into it, man, for sure. Um, First things first, how you feel about the Lakers season?
Achieved this year, man. I mean, we started off 2-10. I think going into the season, everybody had high expectations. When the season came,
Mm-hmm,
those expectations, we started to fail to deliver.
mm-hmm,
Rob, he made some mid-season adjustments, some trades.
yeah,
And when it was looking, I mean, I think at one point we had a 0.3 or two
right,
or 3% chance of making the playoffs. We ended up making the playoffs, end up making it to the Western Conference Finals. So,
yeah.
I think in a way we overachieved in a big way.
Gotcha.
Um,
Hmm.
I do think that a lot of people, once we made it to the playoffs and won the first round, and then we beat Golden State. I mean, I mean, even I was caught up, and I was like, the real finals is going to be this
Yeah.
Golden State Laker team. I was like, if we can get them out the way, then everything
Yeah.
else we gonna be good. So I don't think anybody really respected Denver. And we were kind of like, man, once we get past Golden State, we going whoever in the next round, we're gonna beat them, and we're gonna beat whoever in the East because everybody was pretty much struggling. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
even the Lakers didn't respect and made poor adjustments in the Western Conference Finals. So that was disappointing because I definitely thought once we got rid of Golden State, we were going to just win the chip. But like I said, I think we overachieved overall. From where we
Hmm.
started and where we were, all the growing pains and all the ups and downs of the season, and where we ended up. I think
Yeah.
that was a major accomplishment to overachieve that way and make it to the Western Conference Finals. So
Right.
I'm looking
Right.
forward to the off season. What moves we make, whether we are going to keep our 17th pick, or we're going to, who we're going to re-sign, what new people we're going to
Yeah.
bring in, who we're going to draft. That's cool. But I mean, I'm definitely proud of Lakers for bouncing back. So
Yeah. Absolutely. I think though you said something good. Like I said the same thing. If we can get past Golden State, then we should be good. You know what I'm saying? I didn't respect Denver as much as I did, and I watched Denver. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Now, how long have you been a Lakers fan?
Uh, since I mean, I was born a Laker fan because my dad was a Laker fan.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I've been following them since I was able to like really watch and understand the game of basketball, especially the NBA. I've been a Laker fan since then. And I'm
Nice.
actually from I'm from New Jersey. I'm from South Jersey,
Uh huh.
and 98% of the people there are Sixers fans. So I was like
Right.
literally the only Laker fan that I knew, but I was like
That's
diehard Laker
wild.
fan.
So that's funny you say that, right? Because in Virginia, right, like the next state team up will be Washington Wizards, right? Okay, but it's a mix in Virginia because it's just all over the place. So I have jumped around, and I know it's not the best thing to say. Everybody clowns that,
Yeah,
but so as you can see from the back of my posters on here with AI, man, AI's from Virginia, so I followed AI after Jordan.
for
Big
sure,
Philly fan. When they traded
for sure.
AI, I never really recovered. And so I ended up following Bron. So I kind of followed Bron wherever he went and ended up being kind of just rooting for the Lakers because I rooting for Bron. Now, my dad is a diehard Lakers fan. To through and through. Like he
Yeah, yeah,
barely even
yeah.
accepts me when I'm talking about Lakers.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? So he's a big Magic fan, things like that. We was, when
For
Lakers and the Sixers were in the finals, we was at odds and stuff like that. So it's always funny. Yeah. So what now you're also an Oakland Raiders fan, right?
Yep,
Okay. So
yep.
football, how you feeling about Oakland?
I don't know the direction that they're going in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got rid of Carr, which I'm a big Carr fan, but
Right.
I do believe it was time for a change.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, between him, management, coaching, we couldn't get the job done. And obviously they've been doing the routine of changing the coaches. I guess it's like, hey, changing the coaching thing isn't changing thing. Let's change up the QB. So I mean, I feel away, but I understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like the Jimmy G signing.
That's right. Y'all did get Jimmy
Um,
G.
yeah, we got Jimmy G. I'm not a fan of that one necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I mean as a Raider fan, I mean I've been trusting the process, and I've been here
Yeah.
this long. I ain't gonna jump ship now. So
Yeah.
um, hopefully, I mean maybe we'll draft a quarterback. I mean that's the rumors. We may draft a quarterback and like let him shadow Jimmy G. Jimmy G has a history of being injured. So I guess they're gonna maybe draft a QB. If he gets hurt, then that's that person to take the reins,
Right.
or he'll learn on the fly.
Right.
Our offense is always pretty decent. It's the defense that we always have an issue with. So looking forward to seeing who they bring on board.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, majority of my life, I've always been able to count on the Lakers. I mean, it's been
Yeah.
Shaq and Kobe. It's been just Kobe. It's been Kobe and Powell. It's
Right.
been then it's just Kobe again. Then we got LeBron. So like for the majority of my life, Lakers been good, but the Raiders have only really been good maybe since so I became a Raider fan. My dad is a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Oh wow. Okay.
I became a Raider fan when maybe the year before they went to the Super Bowl. I'm a huge Bad Boy fan. I love Puff Daddy. I love Bad Boy.
Okay. Yeah.
And the special delivery video when he had the white and black Air Force Ones. I think he had the Tim Brown jersey. Ever since then, I
Yeah.
had to go out and get a Raider jersey. Went and got
Yeah.
a Raider hat. Air Force One. So like that's how I really kind of became a Raider fan. I guess
Okay.
almost kind of through it like rap influence. That Raider hat is famous.
Right. Right.
But I like Puff Daddy. I like Bad Boy. So it
Right.
kind of got adopted like that. So like when I really became a fan, like the next year they went to the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay, and ever since
Yeah.
then, and that was 2000 and what 2002. I think it was
Right.
my eighth grade year, and we went to the playoffs like maybe 3-4 times after that, and that's so we never really had any crazy dominant
Mm.
years. So at least on the basketball side, Lakers kind of
Yeah.
always hold me down.
You
Like
good.
pretty much every couple years, we end it to win it.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Well, I mean, it isn't as bad. I don't think as being a Dallas Cowboy fan because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, 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 for
that's
sure, for sure, for sure,
that can
for
be
sure.
the
I feel that
look, his voice
for
got
sure,
lower than
for sure. No,
yeah.
I feel that. I feel that.
But a Cowboys fan. My dad's a Steelers fan, so it's just like I
Okay.
adopted from my grandfathers. They was all Cowboys fans, so I ended up being that. But it's stressful. Like that's one of the things I probably stay in therapy for is to being a Cowboys fan
For,
all the time.
for
That's
sure.
crazy.
but like being a sports fan is like a is an emotional roller coaster in itself
Yes.
because
Yeah.
when they're not good, they're bad. Then
Right.
depending on how how big of a fan you are, that can affect you emotionally. Because if you're a diehard fan and you have your
Yeah.
friends and your family who aren't the same fan, they're riding you when their team beats yours, or when your
Right.
team doesn't make the playoffs, that's a thing.
Yeah.
When your star player gets hurt, that's a thing.
Yep.
Like, it's a big emotional investment being a fan, depending on the level of fan that you are. I mean,
Right.
I remember being in like middle school, high school, and the Lakers would lose. Like, I'd have to fake sick. Like, I had to be like, Mom, I can't go to school. Like,
Right.
this, like,
It's too much.
they're gonna kill me.
Yeah, they gonna cook.
Um,
Yeah.
because like when we be winning the chip, winning the big game, or Kobe dropped 50, I'm in school going
Going crazy.
crazy.
Right.
But when they lose, it's like I already know they like they've been waiting on this, like a
Yeah.
wolf, like wolves hunting the sheep. Like, they've been waiting for this loss. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I mean, I
Yeah.
remember the O one finals against Philly,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
all my friends in my particular neighborhood, and like even to this day, all my friends or people where I'm from, they kind of jumped. Like, the people, none of them really liked Kobe.
Right.
Everybody, so they kind of went from like people, like we were kind of like Jordan, but everybody was die hard Iverson. And like Iverson kind of didn't not pan out, but he kind of started falling down. And like it was a rotation, like Iverson, T Mac, Vince,
Right.
Marbury, and then I mean Bron came, and then everybody, but like everybody kind of like went to the next hottest thing.
Anti
And
Kobe.
I always was Kobe.
Yeah.
And I remember the 01 finals, like even going up to the finals, I'm like, yo, we were sweeping everybody, and I'm just talking crazy. I remember the first game, everybody's like, yo, like Sixers gonna win the series. I'm like, nah, they're not gonna win nothing. And
Boy.
I remember going home in the finals, and we lost that first game.
Yeah.
And like, I got on the school bus, and you would think the school bus, I always went to the back of the school bus, and you would think this school bus was 5 miles long. It's like I'd never stopped walking to my seat, and they was just ridiculing me. Oh, it
Oh,
was terrible. So like I said, fanship, being a fan is an emotional roller coaster, because if you're not doing good, obviously you're doing bad. I mean, unless you make it to right before the championship, but other than that, if you're not good, you're really kind of bad, and that's an emotional invest. I mean, there's even nights when we Lakers may lose super bad. I can't sleep. Like, I'm tossing, I'm turning,
yeah.
I'm upset. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to
Yeah.
get up on the sidelines and draw up the plays. I'm like, why y'all? You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
I'm 35 years old, about to be 35 years old. So like, it's an emotional investment. Depends. I mean, there's some people that just like, I ain't getting paid to be a fan, or I don't know these dudes. It
Right.
is what it is.
Right.
But there's
Right.
some people that will really like, you know, buy the memorabilia, buy the jerseys, go to the games, and really pour money and financial and emotional
Yeah.
investments into it. So
It's a real thing, man. I think, like, I mean, going back to that '01 championship though, that first game, everybody was tight. Like, we was like, yo, we going, but man, it was just like too much hype.
yeah,
Like, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
To it just
yeah, yeah,
ran out.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, even when we're like being a Dallas fan, a Cowboys fan, man, it's an emotional roller coaster every season. At one point I took a step back because I was like, yo, it's too much. Yo, I'm getting too tight with it. And then but but
Yeah,
it's part of my self-care, because you know what I'm saying, I
yeah,
like to unwind, and always doing the work that I do, it feels good to just get away and escape in reality and just watch, sports and stuff like that. And then, me and my dad go at it, man. We just go at it for everything: football, basketball. The only thing we agree on is college basketball, and that's because we're both Tar Heels fans. You know what I'm saying? Um,
okay.
Everything else we had just added 24/7. And then, my friends, man, like I said, everybody's kind of mixed between the two, you know what I'm saying? And so we go back and forth. But like you said, it's levels. It's definitely levels to that. And even down to the matter of fact, you talk about memorabilia. You have a tons of Kobe stuff and memorabilia and Lakers stuff. I was watching one of your videos. Tell me how you got into the memorabilia and all that type of stuff, because that's dope. I like stuff like that.
So like I said, where I'm from, like I said, I'm right next to we right next to Philly, South Jersey. We very close to Philly.
Right. Okay.
Um, I'm one of very few Laker fans,
Yeah.
and even fewer Kobe fans. So over the years, I mean, to be honest, people seeing me like collect shoes, or collect Jordans, collect Kobe's, collect these shoes. It would always be like somebody like, hey, I found something, like I couldn't find those sneakers, or I couldn't find this shoe for you, but
Yeah.
like, here go this Kobe jersey that, here go this
Yeah.
throwback jersey, or like, hey, here's the original champion cut, or you know, um, on birthdays, like my best friend and his daughter would sometimes give me like, hey, we found this ticket stub from one of the finals games, or here go this Kobe
Oh.
plaque. So like, people was kind of just getting me things, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna just I'm gonna just start collecting and stuff. If I ever come across something, I'll just buy. So like it started off with kind of like jerseys or like
Yeah.
Kobe shirts or things like that, and people kind of just started getting me like limited edition posters, plaques, game tickets, and then you start to go to games. I used to have this routine where one of my close friends that I met through sneakers, he lived in California, and his birthday was the very beginning of November. So I would fly to California to catch Laker games, and usually this is when the NBA used to really kind of open the season around like the week of Halloween. So I would go like the 27th, and I would stay for his birthday, and I would catch like 5-6 Laker games. And in those first 5-4, like the first 3-4 games, they're giving you like all the fans that come and get a T-shirt or get a bobblehead. So kind of collecting those, and then different things, different gifts people find in their travels. Atlantic City has a popular boardwalk, so like they have a sports memorabilia store. Malls carry that. So sometimes, or you go to like a trade show, somebody has something rare, somebody will pick it up, or I may see it, or I may be on eBay looking for a sneaker, but somebody put tag the shoe, but it's really a Kobe like jersey or a shirt or a hat or something like that. So just they started off as gifts, and then I kind of collected a lot of it and started trying to find things my own. And when I got my house, I turned the basement into like a Kobe man cave. So I'm in it now. My Kobe, my walls are purple, and it's all Lakers Kobe. I mean, you can see a little bit of stuff in the background, a couple things in the background. So then those are all gifts or things I found like cheap somewhere like that. I put them in the window, and there's posters all over and things like that. His jerseys are over here.
Dope. So that's my pops would love that. I seen that, and when you did the video walk around, I was like, yo, my pops would love that. Entirely. And one of the things is I want to kind of do that myself in the basement when I finish it, to do like kind of all my favorite athletes and favorite teams and bring stuff together like that. And it's like one of those things where like as a fan, like you appreciate those moments versus just kind of maybe traditional, where we just be a fan and do it. Nah, let's do something that makes represents you. You know what I'm saying? Now I have one question. When you watch Lakers games, do you wear your jersey or you don't wear your jersey?
Typically, so this is what I'll say. When I'm watching a Laker game, or if it's a Laker game on, like if it's Laker game, like if it's like, all right, we play today.
Yeah.
I always have Laker gear on. Like I may have like my purple Laker shorts, or I may have like a Laker shirt. Like I definitely have like my top and bottom are usually Lakers.
Right.
I may have the sneakers. I may have the hat. Like I always have something Lakers on. Like if it's like, all right, I'm off today, or I'm working from home today, it's Lakers. If I'm going, like if I'm dropping my daughter off at school, like I got Laker gear on. If I'm working, I got a purple hat on, or make sure my keychain is Laker. Like it's definitely Lakers gear. If I get the opportunity and I'm sitting down, I usually don't, because we play, especially we on the West Coast. If we home, we playing at 10:30, and we playing the West Coast team. We probably playing at like 10 o'clock, 10:30. So I typically, more times than not, I just have Laker stuff. I'm like, I got Laker pajamas. So I may have my Laker pajamas on and my Kobe Nike shirt on. But what I will say is, during the title run, 2020, during the pandemic, I did have the jersey on at times. That was the one time where I can say I definitely had like a Kobe jersey on or a Laker jersey on, for like that. I think because they had dropped the blackout, the Mamba jersey. So I think I had that on maybe. Then they were retro on Kobe's jerseys or whatever. I did that. Then he had just passed, so I was having it on for that reason. So during 2020, I definitely wore it during games and during the playoff run, during the finals.
Yeah.
Typically outside of that, if I go to the game, usually when the Grammys go to California, Lakers do what they call that East Coast trip, and usually where I live at in New Jersey, in 1 week they would go to Philly, they would go to the Knicks, then they would go to the Nets, and that was even when the Nets were in New Jersey and when they went to Brooklyn. So like in like a 6-day span, you can catch all. You can, if you're a fan, you would go. So I would go to all three in that week. So usually like Sunday they probably in Philly, Tuesday they probably at the Nets, and then Wednesday's probably a back-to-back, and then Wednesday they in Brooklyn. So like you can catch it like that. And I would go to all three. Now if I go to a game, I 100% have I have a Laker jersey. But if I'm at the house, more times than not, I kind of just have purple and yellow stuff on.
You know,
And that, and even when it's not a game, I kind of just have it on. But definitely, if it's a game, I'm like, oh, like the Lakers played, let me throw this on, go walk the dog, go to the store, and I got that on. So
that's why. You know, the reason
definitely.
reason I asked that question because some people they wear their stuff, some people they don't, depending on game day, like superstition or whatever. I don't wear any Dallas Cowboy jersey or gear when they're playing football. Now, if I go to like we go out, go to an event, somebody having something, or if I go to a game, I'll throw the jersey on. If I'm at home, I'm not putting that jersey on. I can't do it.
I never, nobody knows. It's probably, who knows, like maybe many don't know this. I don't think anybody knows that. I haven't really been into this, and I don't think many people, but except for actual sports, like athletes, have speak about superstitions. Superstitions when it comes to sports or like things that you're trying to win at are a real thing. Like there's some people that says like, yo, if I don't eat spaghetti on game day, I'm gonna have a bad game. Or if my mom doesn't flip the burger with her left hand, then I can't eat it. Or if I throw my shoes out the car and the left shoe doesn't hit the ground first, like it's bro, superstitions are nasty and mine are very nasty. Like when the Lakers kind of play, like my phone can't be in the same room. Then like, and it has to be like my phone could be on 100%. Like I still got to put it on the charger. Then I kind of have this thing where like if I kind of get a glimpse of what the score is and I don't like it, like I kind of do this thing where I kind of like hug the remote with my hands, and I got a winning record with that. And then like I kind of got a record if like I go to sleep during the game, I got to win. Like, bro, superstitions with sports are very nasty, and I have some superstitions that I'm not so proud of that I never admitted before. So this is like a podcast exclusive. Like superstitions with sports are very, very, very odd, and I definitely have things that I do that are very odd. So yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
Yeah, I threw it out there because like it's about like a routine type thing. Like even when I was used to hoop, right? Like it's like okay, well I need to walk in. I'm gonna have this. I don't wear my shoes to the gym. Never.
Same.
Like
I'm gonna be honest, bro. When I'm traveling, like if I'm like, all right, we about to go to a cookout or a brunch or a break, I don't drive with my sneakers on. I got slides and I put my shoes in the back seat, and then when I get out, I don't drive. And then when it's time to go, depending on the pair, I put my slides right back on and drive. I don't drive with my good shoes. Like we gotta really be in a rush where it's like, yo, like we already 10 minutes late, so you gotta be hop out and go. But if it's like, oh, we got time, like I definitely don't drive because just think especially if you're going somewhere kind of far or a high traffic area, you're doing a bunch of braking and punching on the gas. So one shoe more wrinkled. I don't play that. So I kind of drive with some slides or something and keep on the back seat. So yeah, I'm already on that.
That's funny. You know, it's funny, man, because it's routine makes us like who we are as sneakerheads or in these type of vices that we have. So that gets me to my next question. How do you define sneakerhead? A sneakerhead, or who's a sneakerhead, or do you even define it? You know, that's been kind of the thing on Twitter at sometimes going back.
Yeah, that's actually the new thing. You know, this new thing with sneakers. We're definitely in a different place. I don't want to label it a weird space, but it's definitely a different place where it's just evolved so much. I mean, I remember when I first was like, you know, I remember when I first got mesmerized with sneakers. I remember when I first like, all right, this is going to be a thing for me. Like, all right, like I got these shoes on with my own money, or I saved up, or I did this enough time for my parents to go buy me. It's like this feeling is irreplaceable, and I want to collect. I want to have multiple shoes. I remember those things, and you know what that is today for somebody is totally different, you know. And I remember first collecting shoes. I remember when I was first collecting shoes in like, you know, and in high school, when I first graduated high school, it was really like a secret society. Like I remember when going to school, and like like we're about the same age and the same age group. I remember when you bought sneakers, you kind of got one, you know, to start the school year with depending on how much money, you know, we start school in New Jersey in September, like right after Labor Day. So you got one for back to school. Depending on how much money your parents made or had, you got a pair for Christmas. If you were super lucky, you got another pair for Easter. So like that, and then if your birthday fell in between that, you might have got a pair. You might have, you probably wanted a video game or a toy or something. But like those are really the three opportunities to get shoes. Was like back to school, Christmas, Easter.
Right.
but I remember going to school, and I remember like when I was getting them with my own money, or was like, able to convince my parents, or like let them know this is the thing, like going to school with like three different pairs on the first day, or having a rotation of shoes
Oh
during the school
snap.
year. Like they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like what you got those shoes for? You ain't got 2 feet." Like it was weird to have multiple shoes. Now it's kind of
That's the
that's
thing.
the thing.
Yeah.
Um, what is a sneakerhead to me? Is somebody that like is passionate about shoes, that is knowledgeable about the history of shoes, respects the history of shoes, respects shoes, knows about shoes, embraces the culture of buying shoes, wearing
Mm-hmm.
shoes,
Mm-hmm.
having an outfit around shoes, the hip hop element around shoes. That's what a sneaker has to me. Somebody who loves, has a deep passion, understanding, and knowledge about sneakers and what they wear. Because it's easy to go to
Yeah.
Foot Locker and say, "Oh, like my dog ate my shoes. I need a replacement pair," and you just run them to the ground too. But for
Right.
somebody who's like, "Oh, like I want the Iversons," and like I want the Iversons because I remember when he wore the questions, and like he did the
Yeah.
crossover, and I remember
Yeah.
when he scored 48, and it's like that's when it's really like, all right, because it's like, oh, like I just need a pair of Air Max because I work in the doctor's office and I'm on my feet all day. Like
That's
that's
different.
whatever. But it's when it's like, oh, like I want the Jordan sixes because I was there on my grandpop's couch when they first beat the Lakers, and that was his first ever. Like when you kind of get into that,
That
that's when
story.
that's a sneakerhead. When you know the stories, when you got a passion, when like it ties to a part of your life. Like I got sneakers that like I remember where I was when this
Right.
happened, or when
Mm-hmm.
I remember like there's a lot of times when people like, oh, like let's say we adults, you be like, yo, you remember Sally from back in the day? And you like, yo, Sally who? Like Sally Smith, and like Sally Smith with the gold hair. Like it's not that with me. It's like, yo, you remember Tim? He like Tim who? Like Tim that used to have the Air Max 97s with the red, but
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
always a sneaker thing.
Yeah.
Like when it's like, oh, like trying to recall, it's like, oh, like no, because remember you was wearing these when that happened. Remember, like you
Right.
was about
Right.
to
Right.
go camp. Every historic moment,
Yeah.
I tied to a sneaker, not the person's last name,
Right.
not with the hair they had, not with like I always kind of tied to a shoe to help my friends remember. And that usually works out for me. But that's
Yeah.
what a sneakerhead to me is like. You know the history, you love it, you're passionate about it. You collecting them, that you respecting it. That's what it is to me.
Yeah.
I think now it's kind of today's term is definitely a little bit more evolved.
It's a little
It's
muddy.
kind of just somebody who just can purchase sneakers or has multiple sneakers.
Yeah.
I think there's multi. I think and now I think there's level to sneakers. But I remember 15 years ago, maybe not even that long ago, it was really like a secret society. It wasn't many of us. It wasn't
Nah.
many sneakerheads. Everybody kind of knew each other. Everybody took
Yeah.
care of each other. It was kind of like a secret, like the Illuminati. It was like a secret society. But now, all you need is a phone and money, and you kind of
You good.
allowed in the culture. So it's a different time.
You absolutely correct on that because even in high school, middle school, elementary, you know what I'm saying, I'm in a rural town, so we didn't have too much access to all the drops. Like we had to go out of maybe 30-40 minutes, maybe an hour out to the mall to get sneakers or whatever. And then we didn't really get high speed internet till maybe 2010, really, you know what I'm saying? So we
But
had
yeah,
to
for
kind of go out
sure,
there and do what we need to do to get them.
for sure,
But there was, like you said, a small group of individuals that at school had heat, and then that was just like in it just to get the kicks, whatever, and that was it. And so when that, I feel like that changed so much. Like everybody says they're a sneakerhead now, but like then they don't know why they bought that shoe. And like you said, every shoe in my closet, like I said, has a story to it, right? You know what I'm saying? Why I bought them, the reason I bought them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I remember this when we was at the AAU camp and dude had them on. He was hooping in them joints. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was one of my stories for my cool grade 11s. Like dude was at one of my AAU tournaments and he was hooping in the cool grades back in 8th grade. And I was like, yo, what? And then the True Blue threes that came out in 8th grade, we didn't get them over here and down here in Virginia, where I was at. So I was like, okay, well, whenever they do come back out, I'll wait and get them. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like because we didn't get a lot of access to stuff till later, and stuff like that. Oh, remember I seen these 14s or on Jordan when the last shot. You know what I'm saying? This whatever. So it's like that's what I'm gonna go get. And then when you start talking about those type of stuff with other people, it's like, oh, nah, I ain't really all into that. I just like the colors, and it's like, oh,
yep, yep,
okay.
yep,
So
yep,
like I get
exactly,
it,
exactly,
but
exactly.
I get the same kind of conversation even with cars. Like I'm super into cars, right? But somebody else is like, okay, that's not that deep for me. Why are you so deep into this, that, and the third. And to your other point too was like back then, people will look at you wild for collecting sneakers and spending so much money on them, and it's just like, why are you spending so much money on this sneaker? It's just a shoe. No, it's not the shoe. It's an experience to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I definitely agree with that. Now the question I asked you before we started, I'm gonna ask y'all on here because we're recording it. Do you consider yourself to be a sneaker influencer?
Man, I think there are people out there that will say that I am or give me that label. I don't think I'm there yet.
Yeah.
Is that a title that I want? I mean, I guess I want to be in that room and influence, how brands market shoes or how
Right.
they use people on social media to help them make shoes marketable, or or people that look to somebody and says, hey, this person knows what they're talking about, or they have an insight on what's trending or what's popular or what's good for my feet.
Right.
Am I chasing it? No, I post genuinely what I love, what I buy. I kind of just give everybody a look of what I like, what intrigues me, what makes me happy. So that's what it is. So to answer your question, no, I don't think that I'm an influencer, but I do think there are people out there that would give me that label.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I might give you that label because you're on there. I see you got a pair of kicks over there. I was like, okay, it's getting there. It's getting there. Now you wear a size 13, right?
13, yes, sir.
How many pair of sneakers you got in size 13? Because I wear a size 12, and there's big sizes are hard to come by. How are you finding size 13s?
So this is I had a weird thing happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
So originally I wore a size 10 and a half, 11 when I was 26 years old.
Wow.
10 and a half, 11.
Yeah.
I turned 27 and hit the most ridiculous growth spurt. And my foot grew to a size 13 and I grew to like 6'5".
Wow.
So whoever says, oh, men stop growing at 18 and women at 21 is not true. I was 26 years old, hit a growth spurt, and I had to sell and rebuy and all this stuff. To answer the amount of pairs, I moved. And if anybody knows what moving is like with a nice amount of shoes, it's a hassle. The last time I counted was probably 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, when I last moved, and that number was 850 something pair. So in 7, 8 years, so the answer is definitely north of 1,000 pairs.
Wow.
I just don't know the exact number.
Wow.
But when I did count 7, 8 years ago, it was like 854, 853 odd pair. But like I said, I hit the growth spurt, so I had to sell and rebuy. But what ended up working in my favor was when I hit my growth spurt. This is when Jordan 1s were kind of on the rise, but this is when like StockX and Goat started to come up.
Yeah.
And this is when the money size was like a 7.5 to like a 10.
Right.
Or 10 and a half. So like I was getting a couple dollars for my size 10 and a half.
Yeah.
And the size 13s were cheap. Nowadays, the 13 and the 12 are money size, and the lower sizes don't cost much. So I literally hit the growth spurt at the right moment and was able to sell things, get a couple dollars, rebuy. Now there are some shoes in my collection that like there weren't many pairs produced. They were super limited now, and there's no 13 available, or like the condition between mine is theirs not compared. So there's some of my collection that are still like 10 and a half, size 10, some 10 and a half, like mostly Kobe's or like Jordans that like I wore and have an extreme, like I did something like crazy in them, or have some emotional attachments. Like there's some Kobe's where like only 100 pairs exist, only 12 pairs exist in the world, like things like that. Where like, all right, I got to keep it this size, and I just never wear it.
That's wild.
But majority is now back in size 13. But to answer the question again, definitely north of 1,000 pairs.
Wow, that's wild. So my little collection is nothing, but I had to resell. But I still wouldn't even touch that, nowhere near.
I mean that's the thing. There's some people who have. There's a lot of people who have limits. Like I never want to get past this point. Like I only want 100 pairs. Anything over 100 is overdoing it. So like
Yeah.
then like 4 must-have pairs come out and they're like, all right, I got 104, so I gotta sell
Right.
4
Right.
in my collection that I don't need not to bring it to 100. There's some people already need 50 great pairs. Like there's everybody. Some people that I know that like want to sell because they want to make space to just have
Yeah.
space to maneuver around.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make space to buy more. So it's like we said, it's levels,
It's
it's different
levels.
type of sneakerheads.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm doing doesn't make me greater than the next person. What they may be doing could be the
Right.
right thing. What I'm doing wrong thing, right? There's no right or wrong. That's the beauty of sneakers. You can be a person that just collects Adidas Boost. You can be a person that just likes
Mm-hmm.
Air Force One. Like that's the beauty about sneakers because like there's no right or wrong answer.
Mm-hmm.
Long as you got good intentions, you're not trying to beat anybody. You're not trying to get over anybody.
Yeah.
You add into the game, not taking away from it. It's a beautiful culture. It's a beautiful thing. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answers.
Yeah.
That's just how I approach things. Like I like having the abundance. I'm a fan of it. I love it. I've been doing this for over half my lifetime. I've been collecting shoes since I was 12 years old. I'm
Yeah.
about to be 35 in 2 months. So
Yeah. It's a lifestyle, man. And
it's a lifestyle for
it's a
sure.
lifestyle, and I think it's one of those things where like I did a forum on this last year about sneakers and like mental health, and it's just like one of those coping mechanisms at times. With quote unquote, I know don't my colleagues don't get on me about that, but just because it's something that we enjoy, something that we love to do, and it's a culture to it. And even like to you say, kind of going back to the piece of the size situation, I remember right where the size 12 and 13 were cheaper, right? But there was also limited stock,
Yeah,
so you really
in stores.
in
Yeah, in
stores,
stores they always
yeah,
usually keep like 113.
one
The one that they double up on is like the size 10s, 10 and a half, 11s are
and
usually double.
11s,
Yeah, but the always one size
right?
13,
One
maybe
or
two
two,
size 12s. Always
yeah,
13 is always one. Yeah, yep. Yeah,
yeah.
I worked in a sneaker store, so yeah, I know, but
You
I worked
right,
in them
right,
before.
right. So it's
Yeah,
like
I know.
wow, like it
Yep,
was like wow. And so
that's a
now
fact. Yep.
as we getting older, like some of the youngins that's our height or our size foot, we fighting against them. You know what I'm saying? It was back then. It was just like
Yep.
us. You know what I'm saying? Whoever
Yep.
it was.
Yep.
So
Yep.
wow, like that's why the fact that I was thinking about, and I'm gonna ask you this question too, but the amount of Kobe's you have, I was looking at, and the ID versions, yo, crazy. Tell me what your top 5 Kobe's that you got, if you can do it.
Models or colorways.
Oh gosh,
We can do both.
let's do
We can
both.
do
Let's do
both.
both. Yeah.
Favorite 5 models. Kobe 5 is number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe 4 is probably number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe 8 number 3. Mm, Probably my top 5s.
Okay.
As far as colorways, let me do it again.
You said Kobe 1 was the fourth, and what's the fifth one?
So I said 5, 4, 8, 1, 3.
3. Okay, got you.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Colorways, Snake Pool. Oh, that's not a Kobe model, but shoe that Kobe wears, Snake Pool Hyper Dunks is my favorite. That's my grail that
Uh-huh.
I own.
Uh-huh.
Bruce Lee Kobe 5,
Bruce.
Lower Marion Kobe 4 or 5. Next, Dark Knights
Mm-hmm.
Kobe 5. Chaos Kobe. Then Lakers PE Kobe 1. That's probably my top. I think that's 5 or 6 I reeled off. So
Yeah. Now,
sometimes they change, man, because it's or then I got Orca Kobe 2s. That's probably in the top 3. So it
it
changes a
just
lot.
changes.
It changes a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when somebody asks you who your favorite kid is, probably.
Right. that now, where do you have your Kobe's in your top 5 sneakers of all time?
Hyper Dunk is probably my number 2. I mean, the
Okay.
Hyper Dunk is kind of like the Foam Posite to Penny, where it didn't have his name on it, but it was his
It was a shoe.
unofficial shoe. If you want to go like his official with his name on it, Kobe 5 is probably my number 2. So my number one shoe of all time is the Air Jordan 13. We call them the He Got Games. It's the white and black color. That's my favorite shoe of all time. That's what got me in the shoes. The shoe that I saw that made me fall in love with shoes. Next is probably the Kobe 5. A very close, maybe 2A, 2B is the Penny 2 Orlando. Another one of my favorite shoes. Jordan 9 is right there. Barkley CB 94 right there. Another great shoe. Jordan 9. I love the Jordan 9. A lot of people don't love the Jordan 9. I love the Jordan 9.
Yeah, people don't like the 9s for some reason. I
Yeah. See, like, and that's another thing, like, why I say, like, sneakerhead, evolved. And, and a lot of this, when we were growing up, we kind of had, like, self-influence. Or it was kind of influence of, like, I like this because the way it looks, or like because my favorite athlete did this, and I like the Bo Jackson because I like the Raiders, or because he was one of the best running backs, or I like Jordan because he was the best shooting guard. I like Shaq's hypnosis because he rapped and he played basketball and he acted. Right. A lot of this, it's one person getting influenced nowadays from one thing, and then somebody's getting influenced from them because they got influenced from somebody. Like, when I was growing up, the hot Jordans that everybody loved and gravitated to was like the 11s, the 12s, the 13s, right? The 10s. Like this whole like Jordan like 1s and 3s and 4s being people's favorite. Like that's like a new era. I love those models? Those are great models, right. But like when I was growing, nobody was like, oh, I can't wait till the Jordan 1s come out, or I need Jordan 4s. Like we like the teens, like I said, the 11s, the 12s, the 13s, those are the 15s. Like those are big deals when we came out. When I was growing up, like all through high school, like I never really heard anybody say, "Hey, like I can't wait for the Jordan 4s to come out." Like none of my friends said. I don't have any friends in that era that said like my favorite Jordan is the Jordan 4 or the Jordan 3 or the Jordan 1. Like am I saying like nobody should like those or those? I'm not saying that, but when I was coming up, that just wasn't people's favorite. They weren't people's favorite models. Kanye came in and like he had this thing with the 6s and the 3s and the 4s and Kid Cudi, and so somebody got influenced and they put together a good outfit and they was in your neighborhood and then you liked it, and then then media and social media got a hold of things, and that's why they're in such high regard. But when I was coming up, those models were not talked about the way that they are now.
Nah, unless you was older with it, but like I mean, you're right, because
for sure
are 11s and 12s and 13s
for sure,
and the ones like in that kind of 09 2010 pride, like they started pushing them, but I really wasn't into the ones until, like I said, like when I started really getting heavy into the collecting, I was like, you know what, I need some ones in here just to have the collection solidified.
But before 2013, 12, nobody was on ones, man. Nobody was on ones. Nah. I worked at sneakers, so they were on clearance all the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm
all
saying,
the time,
right?
The time.
That age-old story of the storm blue ones that sat for that long time,
bro. They were on shelves.
And it's interesting too. I think it's dope too because you are in the side of the Kobe's, where a lot of people don't collect the Kobe's unless you're a diehard Kobe fan. And
that's it. Yeah.
I remember like I had a couple Kobe's I wanted, but never really pulled the trigger on. I did get the Adidas ones, like not the crazy ones, I think. No, I had the crazy 8s, and then I had the ones. The
crazy ones 1, 2. Yep.
Ice blue, and sold them before he passed, and was so tight about it because I couldn't find them no more. Couldn't find nobody, at least for a reasonable price. When I had them and I had the crazy 8, Nightmare Before Christmas crazy 8s, and just
those,
sitting and I just gave them away, and I was so tight, bro. Like I was, why? Like you know what I'm saying? So So I respect that because it's the same thing with me now with like collecting Iversons. Like my thought is like, okay, I'm gonna collect my Jordans, of course. That's a no brainer. I'm gonna run through some of these bronze, the ones I like. And then I'm gonna start running through these Iversons because ain't nobody really popping Iversons like that unless you a diehard fan.
Yeah, get them now. My wife is a big Iverson fan. So when the Iverson drop, like she already like, yo, make sure I got them. My wife in the shoes too, but she when it come to Iverson, she like, yo, make sure we got my size 5 on the side. Make sure we got those.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man, I think that's a dope process. Like I said, I was watching your clips and your videos and stuff. I was like, man, this big guy. Mountains and it's all a bunch of colors. I ain't never seen this. I don't even know. I don't remember seeing that colorway before. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I admire that, man. Now,
appreciate.
You said, now, I don't know if you want to answer. You can let me know if you're not comfortable. But you said at one point, we was talking about somebody was tweeting on about sneakers and where we addicted, something like that, and then some other stuff. I don't know, went crazy. But you said sneakers that save your life. You care to share about that as far as what that means and what that looks like to you for you,
Um,
if you're comfortable.
no, I'm more than comfortable. I mean, I say that, and I say that very seriously,
Mm-hmm.
because one, I come from a very, very rough neighborhood,
Right.
rough area, where you know in school, friends dying, friends brothers dying,
Mm-hmm.
single parent homes, where a lot of my friends or my neighbors were either dying or in jail. I mean, to go even further, like in my particular grade, and like all my best friends, all my neighborhood friends, I was literally the only kid with mom and dad at home. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I remember gearing up to graduate high school, and we're like, everybody's taking SATs, and
Yeah.
everybody's kind of like, has some sort of intent of what school they're going to. They kind of visiting, doing, bro. I did none of that, and like I wasn't a necessarily a crazy bad kid. I mean, I got into trouble, but like
Right.
my grades were pretty fair. I definitely was a class clown, but like I wasn't like to where like I couldn't go to college. It was kind of like I don't have a game plan.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Kind of just like in the streets, what was working, kind of. But I remember my dad was kind of like, "Yo, like you don't got to go to college, but you definitely got to work. Like if you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be in the house, you definitely got to have some type of job bringing in some sort of income. Like I said, bro, I have no experience taking SAT.
Yeah.
I didn't take SAT. I didn't. So like you graduate high school
Mm-hmm.
in June. In New Jersey, we graduate in June, like the middle of June, and you kind of start back up in college September.
Right.
Um, I didn't go to school until that November. Like those first, I literally was in the summer, kind of just like working, getting money.
Yeah.
Um, and I was still in sneakers, finding whatever way to get shoes. Like
Mm-hmm.
where it's kind of like, all right, yo, I got $170 to my name,
Yeah.
till I get paid again. But these Jordans come out on Saturday and they definitely 150. How do I stretch this
$20.
leftover twenty
Yeah.
dollars?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm definitely eating cereal. I'm definitely about to go get McDonald's, and I'm gonna get the McDoubles. And if I gotta warm one up for lunch tomorrow, like it was definitely that.
Right.
To even I mean, I even said this on Twitter that one day I'm gonna tell my story. Like at one point, my dad and my mom was kind of like, "Yo, this sneaker thing, like we don't know what this is. Like, what is this obsession with these shoes?"
Right.
And my dad at one point was like, "Listen, you got too many shoes. Like, yo, don't ever." He said, "Don't bring another pair of shoes in this house." Like, he was like, "I don't want to see another pair. Like, don't come in this house with another pair." So, sneakers came out on Saturdays,
Uh-huh.
and I would go to Foot Action, camp in line, get a pair of shoes, and then on the way back home, I would be at McDonald's on the way to the crib. I would get them 2 senior citizen coffees and 2 hotcakes and sausage. So,
Yeah.
and I would park in the house, leave my car, leave the shoes in the trunk, go in the house like, yo, I got y'all breakfast. I was out just riding around thinking about y'all, bought y'all breakfast. And as they're eating, I'm like, oh my God, I got to go outside real quick. Tie the sneaker bag up, the plastic bag, throw it on the roof, and then when they would go run errands or go to visit whoever, do whatever about their day, I'm climbing my roof to go fetch these shoes to put up on the pile so they can't figure out. And
And then
I mean,
yeah.
I did that for months, probably a year. Anyway,
I
like I
seen
said,
that tweet. I was like, yo, what?
yeah, bro. Sometimes when shoes came out twice a week, literally throwing them up on the roof, waiting for them. My neighbors like, what is this dude doing on top of the roof? Waiting until they leave,
Wow.
grabbing them down. But then they continue, like I said, so I had two. My parents are older. My parents had me when they were 40 and 42.
Uh-huh.
I ended up, after spending all the months not knowing what I would do, I ended up going to school to go in the medical field.
Right.
Um, but still keeping Foot Locker and sneaker jobs as a part time, but working in the medical field full time.
Yeah.
And like I said, my dad still kind of not understanding this obsession with shoes. Till one day, somebody called the newspaper in my city and kind of was like, "Yo, you gotta get an article on this guy. He got so many shoes. He in this city. He in the interview. The paper guy ended up finding somebody's number, who found somebody else's number, who found my mom's number,
Uh-huh.
and then she called me. I'm coming off work. She's like, yo, the press of Atlantic City ended up calling. They want to do an interview on you. So I got the number, called them.
Wow.
Ended up coming with a photographer, shooting my whole room with all these shoes.
Yeah.
I was in the paper, in the front page of the paper, like a month later. And literally, my dad couldn't show enough people. We ran out of people to show. Because then that's when it kind of started to click. Then 2 days
Wow.
after the paper came out, local radio station called. They like, yo, we want you to come to the radio station and talk. Bring some of your favorite shoes. So I brought him, and I had brought my girlfriend at the time.
Uh-huh.
Then I was in a magazine. So then they kind of started to see it. Then
Wow.
I mean, now I work for HR in a sneaker company right now. So like,
Wow.
literally went from, like I said, never taking SATs,
Yeah.
kind of in the hood, watching my friends, watching my neighbors, watching people in my community die, go to jail, seeing massive rage, the whole, like I said, bunch of my friends, single parent homes, not having a plan after high school, kind of just like on a whim to prayer. And now, like, I work a salary job, I got a house.
Yeah.
I've been in magazines, I've been in newspapers, I'm on podcasts, I've been on radio. I mean, all this because of my passion for shoes. A couple brands done reached out to me, want to send me things, like, I mean, like, and this
Yeah.
is all because of my passion. To where,
Wow.
like, had I not had sneakers, who knows what could have. Well, I know what could have been. I could have just been another statistic, bro. Would have just been like, I don't have anything. I don't have a. See, everybody has vices where it's like smoking or drinking or gambling.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
vice happens to be sneakers, to where, like, this is something that's actually a physical thing, to where I'm not smoking it or drinking it or losing it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To where, like, if I didn't have sneakers, it would have been like, all right, let's just go get this 40. Let's go
Yeah.
get this weed and smoke it. And who knows what, these are gateway things. So who knows what
That could lead to.
road that would have led me to.
Wow.
Instead, I ended up falling in love with sneakers, and this took me to places where I couldn't imagine. I done traveled out of the country because of my love of sneakers. I done been the Netherlands. I done been to Japan. I done been to Portland. I done been all over because I
Wow.
like sneakers. So
Wow.
when anybody says something about, you know life saving, God, I always say, I'm religious. So I always say, God sent me sneakers because this was
Amen.
His particular plan and path for me. So, like,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Wow. That's an amazing story, man. Because traditionally, right, where we was questioned for why we obsess or love sneakers, and it's just the shoe, right? This is where the sneaker industry, I think, has shifted and changed for the positive side. You can become, develop a career in this space because of your passion, because of your love of the game, because of the love of sneakers. And something that was once looked at as, wow, like, why are y'all doing that, could be something that will feed you and your family for years to come, And so that's an amazing story. And that kind of even goes into the conversation about the intersection between that question I wanted to ask you about, how you feel about the intersection between sneakers and mental health. Is one of the questions that I asked one of my good people's Liz Beecroft in it, because she's a therapist, social worker, and sneakerhead, and we was talking about the intersection.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
man, you just answered that question fully without even, what I'm
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
getting
yeah,
asked about that.
yeah.
Did you want to add to that? Because I think that people need to hear that story about just how something that you are so passionate about, that isn't our traditional route, that typically wasn't like a culture or a business brand built about it. Like, there's no, I'm gonna go to school and get a degree in sneakers or Nike or anything like that. You
For
kind of
sure,
have to
for
have the
sure,
passion to
for
know
sure.
what you're talking about to do it. So, do you see any intersection between sneakers and mental health, and as like just choosing your life path and the career path that you're in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I think, I think sneakers affect your mental health, in various ways. I mean, I think one thing is just like, I mean, this is just an example, but, on Saturdays when we going to get them J's, if you win them, you on a high. Like, the
Right.
rest of your day,
Right.
it's like, all right, I got this white tee on, and I went to go take a bite of my burger, and I got ketchup on my shirt, but
Yeah.
hey, I hit them 14s today. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, oh,
Exactly.
like, man, this girl I'm trying to take out on a date, she canceled. But all right, but like, that's an
That's a
extra
win.
150 to the next. That's, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying. Like, you still on the high of that dub, but then, like, on the flip side of that, when you get that L, it's kind of like, Don't get that L and then the ketchup go on your shirt and then
Yeah.
that girl, because then that's mental health right
Snowballs.
there, because it just all that emotion smoke,
Right.
and with sneakers it's like this is a real passion thing for me. So like
Mm-hmm.
when I find a Kobe, like I've recently been posting Kobe's on that I've been able to
Right.
find for stills on Twitter. These are shoes that like were in my old size, and like these are particular pairs where like I don't I don't I didn't have, or I had it in my old size, and like I just stumbled across. And like right now, since Kobe passed away, Kobe
Mm-hmm.
prices are outrageous.
Yeah, they're crazy.
The most basic colorway they want
Right.
$300, $400 for. So like
Right.
some people, because of my name or because I looked them out on the deal before or whatever, been looking me out. Like there's some Kobe's I'm getting like worn once, worn twice for like under retail. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like I've been blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Should I open that up, and like that changes my whole attitude. That changes
Yeah.
my whole day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, like we talked about wearing Laker jerseys during the game. Like when it comes to holidays, I definitely incorporate shoes into holidays. So if it's like St. Patrick's Day, I just got a pair of St. Patrick's Day dunks. Like so when St. Patrick's Day come out, I'm gonna have those on. Christmas, I definitely got Grinches on, or
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
Kobe. I just got another Kobe Christmas, so that adds to the arsenal.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, I made a Nike ID inspired by my mom. It's brown and it matches, it has like
Wow.
Thanksgiving colorways. So I wear that so that like, and that helps me have a good day. Like my parents passed away, so I got Nike. Both my parents passed away within like the last 2-3 years. So like
Yeah.
I
Sorry to hear
got
that.
Nike IDs inspired by them. So when like their wedding anniversary comes or their birthday comes, I'll just throw them on it. And like that's my connection with sneakers. Like I said, my parents originally didn't understand
Yeah.
this sneaker thing. But when the accolades started to come, when I can kind of show like, hey, there's money in this. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I wanted to be a reseller, which I'm not, like there's
You
money
could
in
do
that.
that,
But
right?
like because of my passion, look at the fruit of my labor. Like I've been bro. Like I said, I'm about to turn 35 in
Right.
2 months. I've been studying, researching, hunting, learning about sneakers for 20 years. That's over half of my lifetime. I collected the summer going into my ninth grade, my freshman year. I was 12 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I decided that I was going to collect shoes. I was going to buy shoes. I was going to save my money
Yeah.
to get shoes. There's multiple times where like I ate when mom is like, "Oh, we got McDonald's at home." Like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna eat
Yeah.
whatever you cooking. We gonna eat that, so I ain't got to spend money. So that's an extra $20 towards getting these
For the
Barclays or
sneakers.
getting these Pippins. So
Right.
that's what it was. So this passion has been 20,
20 years.
20 years.
Amazing.
This, like I said, it's been taking me a lot of places. But like towards the end, my mom and my dad, like my dad was like, he a Laker fan, so he was like, "Yo, get me some shoes." So for birthdays and for Christmas and for holidays, I was
Yeah.
getting him, I was getting him a Kobe jersey or a Lakers shoe.
Yeah.
So he started to love shoes. There'd be times when my dad was camping out with me at House of Hoops for his
Right.
size shoes. So to answer the question, like I said, mental health and sneakers definitely tie into each other because there's definitely an
Mm-hmm.
emotional connection to winning shoes, to losing shoes, to getting a steal on shoes.
Right.
The historical part of it. You know, LeBron, the shoe that LeBron wore when he broke the record again,
Right.
doing something. That's if you're a LeBron fan, it's like, oh, like I gotta get that, or that them shoes bring me joy, knowing that Nike purposely made this shoe
For that.
to celebrate that.
Right.
The shoes that Kobe wore when he won a title, when he won MVP. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're a fan, like that ties and that makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the shoes that you want to wear to propose to your girlfriend, like that's an
Yeah.
emotional connection.
Right.
When I got married, we made Nike IDs, and I also made Nike IDs to celebrate our engagement. So like I made
Nice.
Hirachis for that. So like those are an emotional things. So like when my daughter is 10 years, I can be like, yo, these are the shoes that I wore to celebrate me
Yeah.
proposing to mom. And you're like, these are the shoes that, I still got the shoes that I wore at my reception and my weddings. Like, yeah, look at these,
Same.
like
Same.
these are feel good things. So, like I said, there's a mental health, there's a good piece of the mental health aspect when it comes to shoes, but there is also a bad,
Right.
the resale thing. That's another dampering thing because, like, knowing that, hey, like, I want these shoes to wear them to, like, to look good, or like they relate to me, like the Tiana Taylors, like
Right.
imagine, my wife is a fan of hers. She wants the shoe because, like, I remember when she was on the Sweet 16 show, and I
Yeah.
remember I remember when
Exactly.
she was on Reebok and got her Reebok shoe, and she got her Reebok shoe. She's like, it's only right that I've been following her, you know, through her journey, I want the Jordan shoe now. Then you get this, then you get the L on the sneakers app, and then you go to eBay, and then you see somebody selling it for $500. So like that's an emotional, mental health. Now
Yeah.
your mood's kind of different because like, dang, I took the L and I gotta live with that. And then somebody want them, but
And then
they selling whatever. They
sell it.
don't even care
Yeah.
about the shit. They just want to make a profit. So like it's
Yeah.
definitely a mental health tie, good and bad, to this sneaker thing. But I always try to focus on the good, man.
Yeah.
I try to stay away from negative things. I'm a real positive person. I
Right.
got a lot of positive things going on in my life. So and like I said, sneakers have brought me great amounts of joy,
Yeah.
unmeasurable amounts of joy in my life that I'm thankful for. I've met people that through sneakers that like are irreplaceable. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've traveled the world. Like so I have feel good stories. Like if I ever have a bad day, it's like this day's not gonna last. We're gonna weather this storm.
Right.
Because remember what you felt like yesterday or 2 days ago, or
Yeah.
like you know what I mean, or like Saturday's coming. Here's a new opportunity to feel good again through sneakers. So um,
Yeah.
that's my take on it.
But I think you broke that down amazingly, man. Like, I made a word up amazingly, but you broke that down amazing because you sharing your purpose around it, your how you got into it, how it gave you the opportunities, how it also gave you the opportunities to feed your family, provide for your family, and going a non-traditional route that doesn't involve just going to school. You know what I'm saying? And then how it impacted your family, your parents, things like that. And I think you just showed the range. And so a lot of times we talk about like the bad parts of mental health. We don't talk about the good parts of mental health. You know what I'm saying? Because we really don't define it well. But because I define like as how we deal with day to day life, how we deal with day to day life stressors, right? And you just hit the nail on the head, squarely about that. About these sneakers does this thing to me. It helps me. It gives me opportunity. It gives me fulfillment. It gives me nostalgia. It allows me to go back and see different experiences of my Kobe, things like that. So it's and then milestones, like family milestones, things like that. It's just I think people miss that part of it. And but it's I'm glad that you summed it up that way. um as a collector, as someone knee deep in it, as someone that studied it for 20 some years, you can speak to the essence of why sneakerheads are who we are. And so I think that's probably one of the first times I ever heard somebody really eloquently put it all together like that way, man. So I definitely appreciate you answering that question the way you did, and that insight and wisdom on that for sure. Um, we are nearing the end of the podcast, man. It's been a great time, man. I don't know about you, man. It's been an extra time having a
Oh no, it's been a
conversation.
pleasure, man. It's been
Yeah.
a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
It's been some good stuff on here, man. Tell people where they can find you at if they want to follow you, if they want to check in with you, and then also anything that you want to promote personally, business, brand, whatever. This is your time to do so. Feel free.
Instagram, you can follow me at brother_D. That's BROTHA_D. On Twitter, you can follow me at _BROTHA_D. That's brother_D, or brother_D on Twitter. They made me add another underscore because there was another brother D on Twitter.
Oh man.
Um, so those are two places you can follow me at. If you on YouTube, I have the same thing, brother_D. As far as promote, I don't have anything necessarily to promote. But I definitely want to say I appreciate you for thinking of me, to reaching out to me. This is a great conversation. It's been a little while since I've been on the podcast, a couple
Mm-hmm.
months, but it's definitely been a pleasure. The questions were perfect. Um, like I said, some of these stories are stories that nobody's ever heard, so I'm looking
Oh
forward to
man,
hearing
got the
reactions,
exclusive.
and things. So yeah, you definitely got some exclusive. So I'm hopefully my words are motivating to somebody, inspiring to somebody. Like I said, like it's a hobby to some. This is really just like this is my life. Like
Yeah,
when I say I eat, breathe, sleep, drink sneakers, this is what I'm researching it. I got it in my phone. I got it on my iPad. It's on my
yeah,
computer. It's in my ear on a podcast. I'm in
yeah,
a magazine somewhere reading about it. Like it never stops. I've been doing it 20 years, and it's just something like you never stop. It's kind of like a teacher trying to get recertified, or just trying to keep
right.
their credentials up
Yeah,
to date. Like I'm always trying to learn, always trying to grow. Um, I'm not where I want to be. I still think there's room for me to grow, for me to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely want to get a bigger audience. I got a fairly decent audience. I'm
Yeah.
blessed.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to do a lot of things, man. I've been on the sneakers app before. That's something many people can't say. I've been on the sneakers app. I've collaborated with Foot Locker.
Right.
Like I said, I've traveled all over the world like I said, if 34-year-old me could speak to 12-year-old me and say, yo, one day you're gonna do this and sneakers, I would have been like,
Yeah.
man, if you don't get out my face and
Right.
stop trying to play around, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
God is really blessing. Like I said, when I like, and this is to whoever. This is not me. Like I said, I don't have nothing to promote, but this is the word that I have. Whatever is on your heart, whatever's on your mind, whatever it is that you like or interested in. If it's trading cards, if it's
Mm-hmm.
construction, if it's drawing, if it's production, whatever it is, give your all to it.
Yeah.
120%. Don't stop. Don't
Absolutely.
let other people. If man, listen, I didn't have friends. I didn't have family members. I told you my parents. I had somebody like, Darryl, what you got all these shoes for? This? You ain't not. This ain't going. I didn't have teachers. You keep coming in with a different pair of shoes in my class. This ain't going. You ain't doing nothing but wasting your money. It's just materials that somebody sewn together.
Yeah.
You ain't
Yeah.
going to take this nowhere. You know what I mean? This is a waste of time, waste of money. You can be saving up for your retirement.
Right.
Man, I done went this year. I done been to my old high school and spoke on career day, and I done been to
Wow.
another middle school and spoke on my career day. And I'm saying teachers is like, yo, I ain't never think that this is what.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
wild.
whatever it is somebody likes, it ignore the naysayers, ignore the doubters. If you like it, then make sure you love it, put your all into it, and that's really it. Like I said, God really gave this to me for me to have it and for me to take it and run with it. And I'm still trying to steward over all the blessings that I've been getting. So, and like I said, I'm thankful, and I'm still the same hunger that I had when I first started. I'm still trying to keep it and trying to learn more, do more. Any opportunity, like I said, there's no opportunity. Like I said, like the
Mm-hmm.
influencer thing. There's influencers that get opportunities. They kind of had a leeway,
Yeah.
or they kind of on a high horse, so they kind of say they can, or they say no to things like, nah, I'm kind of too big for that, or
Yeah. Yeah.
your opportunity is beneath me. Like, I'm not there. I pray to never get to where I want to say no. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody is reaching out to me and giving me opportunity, I definitely want to give them the time of day, because I remember when I didn't, there was no opportunities. And like I said, sometimes these opportunities come few and far between. Like, I may have this podcast with you now. I may not, something else may not come for another couple months, but I'm thankful. So,
Right.
like I said, whoever is listening to this, finding your inspiration in something. My inspiration was Kobe. His hard work, his dedication
Mm-hmm.
was motivating and inspiring to me. So find something that motivates you. And if you can't find that, be a self motivator. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Push yourself. You know what I mean? It's going to be long days, long nights. Make sure you research and make sure you know everything about just, whatever your craft is, whatever your hobby is, whatever your
Mm-hmm.
interest is. Um, and like I said, give it your all. That's all I got, man.
Yeah. Well, you gave it. You definitely inspired and motivated me on that side, man. I hope that anybody that's listening, man, inspired by motivated to follow their passions and give it your all, even though it might sound crazy and it might not be a actual lane or something that's there prepared for it, but you don't know what God will prepare for you in those moments. And I'm a firm believer in God will open up doors when the time is near, and especially when you put in the effort and the work into it. So, man, Darryl, man, it's been a pleasure, my brother, having you all here conversation, man. I look forward
Yes,
to
sir.
the future connections and just keeping up with your collection and everything that you're doing, man. If there's anything that you need from me on the podcast side or just in general, you know where I'm at. Definitely let me know. But anybody that's listening to this episode, man, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the podcast. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, leave a review on this episode. Definitely on YouTube as well, man. We had some good gems dropped on here that still ties into the work that we want to do with the G.Taylor Show, man. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all your digital streaming platforms. If you're not, and if not on there, please let me know. I'll get it on there hopefully far, fast, and soon. Y'all have a great week. Take care, and we'll talk to y'all soon. All right.